Catch 'em in the pasture, run 'em in the pen, work 'em on the Sundays, do it all again. Race 'em in the sand, buck 'em in the mud, drip a cowboy's sweat, bleed a cowboy's blood.
I'm Zeke Thurston, 2016 World Champion Saddlebrock Rider, and you're watching The Peppered Stewart Show.
That you are. You are watching it, and more than likely you're right here on Canyon Star TV, so be sure and check out some of the other programs they've got to offer, because they've got something for everyone. If you're a person that watches TV, you will find something to watch there. So be sure and check that out. We got a lot of stuff happening today. We've got a couple of musical guests that we're going to visit with. We're going to have Whey Jennings and Shea Fisher chime in here in a little bit and talk about some new songs, new albums they got coming out. We'll get into that. We've got your PBR news, what's happening in the world of PBR. We got your favorite odd news and some other random happenings that are taking place. I am not here alone today. Imagine that. I am here. And co-hosting today is none other than Matt Malone.
How you doing? Great to be here, Pepper.
It's another day.
Another day.
Another day to talk about random stuff.
Yep.
And we got that lined up for you. And if you want some even more random stuff, there is a new movie out that you can pick up that is on the digital. Those that watch digital movies and like to see digitized things. Bring home Novocaine. Buy it on digital now. When the girl of his dreams is taken hostage, Nathan Kane's inability to feel pain will be his greatest strength in the fight to get her back. Buy the film critics are calling outrageous, original, and wildly entertaining. And get over 35 minutes of bone-crushing extra features available at participating retailers. It is rated R from Paramount Pictures. So check that out. And if you would like to get a digital copy of that, shoot us an email. We've got a few of those we'll send out. So first come, first serve if you would like a digital copy of that show. So what's going on? What have you been up to? Where have you been hiding?
I've been hiding behind the scenes, doing coaching a lot of bull riding on Tuesday nights, or getting a lot bigger, getting prepared to put on a clinic out there for a school. Helping out with the WSPBR, some shows they had coming up. They had one just at Mesquite, and then just kind of doing all the post-production on the movie that we got underway.
And that should be released, when do you think that's probably going to hit? This year, next year?
We're looking at early fall. That's our target. That's where we're reaching for, so.
All right. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Another Western?
Another one. We need more.
Western. You gotta have more, and it's we talk about that, all the Westerns and that they have been, so many have been popping up. I don't think I've got the trailer for it today because it doesn't come out for a little bit, but there's a new one called Broke.
I've seen that. The previews for that looks great.
They've got that. There's Ransom Canyon coming out, which looks like it's probably a Yellowstone-esque type thing. And there was another one.
There's a bull ride movie that Angel Studios is producing.
Yeah, I've got that one out there. That's called I think it's called The Last Rodeo or something.
Yeah.
Last Rodeo. It looks fairly similar to Ride that Fort Smith just did. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. We've got some other movie stuff we'll get into later, but what we do have is some tunes for you. So check out this tune, and we'll come back. We'll talk to the man himself.
I saw Jesus on a billboard. He said the end is coming near. But I don't think that he'd approve of the mess we made down here. He said he's coming back, but I don't think he's seen the news. There's people hurting people like there's nothing left to lose. We're in the end time. I can feel it in my bones. People drinking just to be drinking. and walking around half stoned. People searching for a savior in the bottom of a bag. Lord, to see your second coming, I'd give everything I had. Saw an old man on the corner, kind of poorly dressed. He had a cardboard sign that kindly said, "We'll work for food, God bless." People walked right by him with their noses in the wind. He used to be a preacher till that bottle spoke to him. We're in the end time, I can feel it in my bones. People drinking just to be drinking and walking around half stoned. People searching for a savior in the bottom of a bag. Lord, to see your second.
That right there is a new tune out from Mr. Whey Jennings. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. How you doing, buddy?
We're sitting around listening to some good old country music.
Talking about westerns, man. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we got it more of that coming up. So let's talk about this. So I guess you're originally from Texas.
Yeah, I was born in Dallas. I lived out in Lubbock for about 10 years. So
All right.
around Lubbock, not in Lubbock.
All right. So what was that all about? What'd you do growing up? You rodeo? You farm?
Now, I worked on a cotton farm for about 10 years, and then I started doing music for a living, hit the road, started doing shows all around the country, and I've just been doing it ever since.
All right. And yeah, because your debut album at the Jekyll and Hyde, after that come out, how'd that work out for you when that hit?
It worked out pretty good, man. I put out a bunch of EPs through my career. I spent the beginning of my career just being kind of a dummy, running around doing everything wrong. And then started putting out EPs, and then finally put out an album about 15 years after I started doing this for a living. So it worked out pretty good, man. I love that album.
Yeah. So I guess when you're working, farming and working, as a youngster, I guess you wasn't really sure. And then once you hit music, you just come to the decision, this is what I'm going to do, and it's going to work.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way it went. It took a lot of years of doing it wrong to figure out that there is a right way of doing things. And I just gave my life to God. He's kind of drug me all through it, man.
Well, with the song you just came out, I was going to ask you. I mean, it's obviously very meaningful and influenced by God. I was just going, what brought you to that song? What led you to there? Obviously, people need to go through some tough times to get to that point. What inspired you on that song?
Well, I gave my life to drugs and alcohol for about 27 years, man. And I lived kind of in the darkness for a lot of years. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I met the woman of my dreams. And we went through some really hard times there at the beginning. And then we both went and got help. And then once we got out of rehab and everything just got better. We went through a spiritual kind of rehab. And we just laid it all at God's feet, man. He picked us up and carried us through. We've been sober now for going on 5 years. And we've just been making good music. We've been raising a family. We got married. I live in a pretty decent neighborhood now. And my kids are going to pretty good schools. And, it's just been a blessing after blessing. So that's what led me to that song right there, is that, I didn't want to live my life like that no more. And it was God that pulled me out of it. So I just kind of put it all into that song right there.
Well, congratulations on that. So that's a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Your sound, your music, you got a very distinct sound in your music. What's kind of some of the your musical influences that you kind of listened to growing up to kind of guide to where you are today?
Well, I listen to anything from old country music to, Southern rock, even like, R&B music and, the old school R&B back in the day, James Brown and all them. I've just listened to all kinds of good music. In my opinion, there's two kinds of music. There's good music and bad music. And I've tried to gear myself towards good music and do my best to replicate that as well as I could in my own experiences. And we've done a pretty good job at it. We're making pretty good noise around the country. I got a pretty good fan base. I'm more known in some places than others, and you would think I'd be bigger in Texas. I'm pretty good in Texas right now, but I didn't get my start in Texas. I left Texas, and I started going around the whole country playing music, and it's just gotten to a point where I'm living right enough that Texas is kind of embracing me a little bit better, and I'm loving that, because you know how Texas is. Texas, they want you to be, they want you to be the purest form of yourself as you possibly can, understandably too, and I just wasn't that for a long time, and now I am, and I'm looking forward to being back in Texas more and more. Matter of fact, I'll be in Texas from May 1st to May 4th. I've got I'm playing at a steakhouse in Port O'Connor, Texas, 5D Steakhouse on the 1st. And then I'm playing at Soggy Bottom Saloon in Beaumont, Texas on the 2nd. And Texas Pride Barbecue Bash in Atkins, Texas on the 3rd. And then I'll be in Bernie, Texas at the Tapatio Springs Resort on the 4th. So I'll be in Texas for 4 days, and it's going to be a great time, man. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I was about to say you're about to be back in Texas for a little bit. So if you're not in Texas now, what part of the country do you end up in?
I live in Pennsylvania, believe it or not. I was traveling around, and the woman I met that straightened me up lived in Pennsylvania, man. My manager lived in Pennsylvania, and then I met my wife here in Pennsylvania. And it gets really cold here in the winter, so that's when I hightail it back south.
Yeah.
I mean, but up here in the fall, it's just beautiful, and it's just, we all got to go on our own path in our lives, and my path led me here, and this is where I kind of put down roots, and I go back and visit all the time, but this is where I've been raising my family, man.
All right. So when you're up there in Pennsylvania, because music's a lot. It takes a lot out of you, and a lot of travel, and a lot on the road time. So when you do get back home to the house, what do you like to do to kind of kick back and relax?
Well, there ain't no kicking back and relaxing for me, man. I'm either working or I'm being daddy.
Yeah.
Husband and daddy. I mean, last time I was out in Arizona for about 2 weeks. This last 2 weeks, and then when I got home, I took my wife to see this play called The Thorn. It's about the story of Jesus Christ, and that's what I did there. And I took my kids skating, and I've just been hanging out with my kids as much as possible. I go to North Carolina and Georgia this weekend, and then I go to Nashville and I record my new album, and then I come back home. And anytime I'm at home, I spend all the time I can with my kids and my wife. Man, that's what I like to do.
Do they get to go with you on the road, or they just kind of stay home, wait on you? Or?
No, they go with me every once in a while. It just depends on if they got school or not.
Yeah.
If my kids are in school, then they, studies first, But a lot of times we get 1 week a year where my kids get to take a educational trip. And we usually use that week to go to whatever the biggest thing on the schedule is, and then we find something good. Like we went to South Dakota one year, and we went to Mount Rushmore. And, I was playing out there too, but, we always like to find something that's educational for the kids while we're out, And then we went down to Florida this last year, and down there for Bike Week, because I play Bike Week down there every year. I'm in Florida probably 3 times a year. I play Bike Week, Biketoberfest, and then I go down to Texas and I play the Lone Star Rally down in Galveston every year.
Okay.
And it just depends on what the kids want to do that year and what kind of educational benefit we can find wherever we're going. So I get to do that. And then when summer hits, they're with me all summer. So we go find amusement parks to go to, fontaines to do.
Okay.
Just, that's what I do these days. I'm a happy pappy, man. I love my kids.
So
just run around.
So with your kids seeing Daddy in the music industry, do any of them showing any interest that they want to follow Dad's footsteps?
Well, thing about it, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, man. They all sing pretty good. My youngest daughter, she's about 4 years old. She loves singing Hallelujah with me every night on stage. And my oldest daughter, she's 18, and she loves singing Hallelujah with me too, but she wants to be a cosmetologist. My oldest son liked it for a little while, and then he went to be an iron worker. It just depends, Whenever I was young, whenever I was really little, I wanted to do this for a living because I seen my grandfather doing it. And then I got about 13, I went out on stage, and I just froze like a deer in headlights, And then I really had to take it serious to figure out if it was something I wanted to do. And I didn't really start doing it myself until I was like 30, So, it's up in the air. If they want to do it, I'm going to be right there behind them. If they don't want to do it, I'm behind them in everything they want to do.
Well, I think a lot of it, and just kind of ties back to your song and your inspiration, is obviously on God's timing. And, sometimes there's things I wanted young in life that I didn't get till older in life. And I think God prepared me because couldn't have handled it, or I wouldn't have been ready for it at a younger age. So now at an older age, He's allowing me to do things that I wanted to do younger, which has made a lot more sense. And I'm sure it's the same way for you. I think maybe now you're prepared and you can see it different, and you can walk a little different in the industry.
That's the truth. That's the truth, man. When you're young, you start chasing after the stage lights and all this glitz and glamour and all this stuff. When you get older and you realize, man, that as long as you're putting out good music and it's music that your kids can listen to, and your kids are watching you do something, and your kids are going to good schools, and they're actually able to thrive in the community you live in, and that kind of stuff, that's the stuff that matters, man. It ain't. If I never top the charts, I never top the charts. But as long as I'm able to support my family and watch them thrive, and grow old with my wife, I'm doing good, man. That's all I really want to do anymore.
It's a great dream.
Yeah.
And you're living it now. You're living the dream. So the folks that are watching, they're looking to catch you on the road, or maybe pick up a new album. Where would be the best way to send them? To the website, to social media, or where do you want them to go?
Well, they can go anywhere they want to go. They're going to get pretty much the same amount of me. But my website is www.wheyjennings.com. All my videos are on there. All my schedules on there. There will be a merch store on there really, really soon. And but if you want to just talk to me or watch my lives or anything, you can catch me on Facebook, Instagram, any kind of stuff like that. But the best way to get to know me is to come on out to a show. So that's how you do it.
Well, you'll be in Texas for too long.
I sure will. May 1st through the 4th. Just look up my schedule and hope to see y'all out there.
We'll check it out. All right. Hey, Whey, I appreciate you visiting with us. I know you're busy. You got a lot going on, but we wish you good luck down the road. Maybe we'll catch you at a show.
All right, brother. Come on out, man. It'll be a good time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Whey.
All right, brother.
That right there is Whey Jennings. Check him out. Look him up on the internet. Go to his website, find the schedule, and check him out at a music venue near you. Be some good stuff. Some good stuff right there. That's a pretty good song.
He did have a unique sound. It kind of had a little old Randy Travis tied to it, kind of.
But it got on. It was a distinct distinct noise, distinct sound he had. He had going on there. But we were talking about westerns, weren't we?
We are talking about westerns.
We were talking about westerns. We also talking about rodeo. I guess we need to do. You got a PBR story over there? Something happened.
I think I've got one over here. I sure do, right here.
Something happened in the PBR.
Something big happened from a sleeper cell. So. Yeah, name you don't see at the top all the time, but he will surprise you from time to time. That's Luciano de Castro. He had a walk-off win at the Cooper Tires in Billings this weekend, and that pushed him all the way up to number 5 in the standings. So, yeah, he came out and 3 in a row like that. That's pretty impressive at that level.
I think we got a clip of this winning ride right here.
Abracadabra! Luciano is your Magic City Master. His second win of the season. No question. It's 87 1/4. He leapfrogs Hudson Bolton and lays down the championship round charm.
Well, you knew coming in, all he had to do was just make that 8 seconds, and he has been perfect all weekend long. He just grits it out for the big switch right there. And you knew he had the opportunity. This showed this veteran, he's an athlete, he's dialed in. He never even showed any flaw at all. He knew the whistle was coming there at the end, and he took it all the way to the ground.
That's amazing right there. I mean, when a guy's in tune, I mean, you can tell from that first ride of the event, when a person is on tune, it's just nothing can throw them to the ground. And I mean, he made a statement there. They're a few weeks out from going into the finals, and hey, he's going to put pressure on you guys. He's going to be somebody to watch out for in the finals. So he's still got to catch Dalton Castle, who's leading it right now, but he's definitely on the way to start it.
There'll be points to be made up at the finals.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a race when it gets there.
It's going to be a tough one this year.
It's gonna be tough. Also, what's gonna be tough is the criticism I'm about to give Samuel Stone. So I did reach out to him. So I did reach out to Samuel. I would like to. I just want to ask him some questions because when I see stuff like this, I want to know your frame of reference, what you're thinking, what's your background, what's your story, or what? Because I put a list out similar to this. I think a couple of years ago, I published a story in the North Texas Farm Ranch magazine. Go look that up, and you'll see another story this month. But anyway, of the top 10 westerns on Netflix. So I went through in the westerns, and I made sure when I put in the story, Lonesome Dove is not on here because it's not on Netflix.
Right.
So don't come at me for that because it's not on Netflix at the time. And so that's what I did. So I stumbled across this story, and it's called The 15 Best Western TV Shows Ever. Okay? Ever.
That is a big task
So I was
right
like,
there to nail
man,
that one down.
I'm like, who's coming out hot with this story? So I pulled up Samuel, did a little research to check him out. He's he writes for a lot of different media publications. He does a few interviews with actors and stuff, and then he writes a lot for Comic-Con and Film X or something. Anyway, he's into movie stuff, so he's got a grasp on movies. So his view of these may be more from a cinematography or
cinematography type
maybe he's looking
background.
at it. Maybe he's looking at that, not necessarily the story or I don't know. So anyway, he said here's a few of the American archetypes. Is that what he says? Archetypes.
Yeah.
Archetypes that are more enduring and iconic than that of cowboys in the Wild West.
All right.
So from pulp paperback novels to the silver screen, Western's been thrilling audiences worldwide for centuries. So let's dive into, he ranked these now. He did this. So I don't know if this is number 1 or number 15 because it didn't say. But have you ever heard of this movie or series on Netflix called Song of the Bandits?
I have not. So I'm assuming this is probably going to be ranked 15 over 1.
If it was me,
Just my opinion.
I would say this has got to be 15 because, let's see, this is a East Asia. It's East Asia. May not be the first location viewers think of for a Western, but this Netflix series, Song of the Bandits, uses this offbeat locale well. It's set during the oppressive Japanese occupation of Korea in the 1930s. The show explores the plight of Korean refugees who have fled to the Gando region of China. So I pulled it up because I was curious. I'd never seen it. And you have to read it.
Obviously.
So I'm
So
out.
they didn't have it in English. It was all subtitles.
So I'm out because I can't. I cannot. It doesn't matter what the movie is. I will not watch a movie if I have to read it.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of the movie is to see it. I want to see the action. I want to see stuff happen, and you can't pay attention if you're trying to read it.
You definitely miss a lot.
You might as well get a book. And speaking of books, the next one he's got is Little House on the Prairie. So, how do you went from?
Well, okay. Thinking outside the box, not just thinking shoot 'em up, gunfight westerns. This is definitely a western. It's definitely a classic, but I wouldn't have thought it would be there, but it was. I mean, now that it kind of opens my eyes, I can see it being there. I mean, it was definitely a great western. We all grew up watching it. Yeah.
So
Hey, I actually saw they're remaking.
Yeah,
they're coming out. They're remaking
I heard something
Little
about
House
that.
on the Prairie.
I think I heard something about that. And then he went to the Wild West.
Well, he did pick some westerns. Let's say that he picked westerns.
And so this one is he says this is a Old West gets a healthy dose of James Bond inspired action and steampunk science fiction with the 60 series, The Wild West.
This is Get Smart in the 1800s. That's what that is. Get Smart in the 1800s. Pretty funny, though. Funny stuff.
All right. And then what's he got? This is a new one.
American Prime Evil. I've heard of that. I have not seen that.
I watched it.
Was it good?
It's pretty good. I guess there's a plot to it. It's supposed to have some similarities of what was happening back in that time, but I didn't really understand the point of the whole movie. I mean, it was good, but
couldn't make the connection.
I think other than they were just trying to show some historical stuff, what was happening at that time.
Right.
And I do agree with this. It says arguably the most graphical, violent show on the list. Yeah, it's pretty
hardcore,
pretty gruesome. Set in frontier, 1857, the Utah Territory become consumed by bloody violence as the that's right, the Mormon settlers the Mormon settlers back in these days was not very nice.
Not quite like the guys nowadays.
Not at all.
Right around on bikes.
Yeah, they were. It was. You're gonna have to watch it now.
I know. Now you got me.
I just can't even say anything anymore. You just got to watch it. Now this one made the list, which it should have made the list. Probably the only one on the list, but this one made the list. And before I tell you what this one is, this movie that almost didn't happen. This miniseries almost didn't even happen because they didn't think it was going to work. They said, "Why would you put a Western on TV? Westerns are for the movies. It's a movie, and so how are you going to get these movie actors to be in a TV series?" And so there was a lot of back and forth before they finally agreed to do it, because some of the original people on here weren't originally the ones cast, and then also the two that play the main characters, actually, they, if I remember right, they read for each other's parts.
Really? I didn't know that.
And then they said, no, it'd work better if you are this way. So what we're talking about now is Lonesome Dove.
Definitely top of the list, right there.
Lonesome Dove. I remember watching that, staying up to watch that on TV.
I've got to make it a point to watch it front to back at least twice a year.
Yeah.
I'll find a rainy day or when it's cold or nasty, and I'm like, all right, today's my Lonesome Dove day.
Yeah. So if you're watching the show and you have not seen Lonesome Dove, what's wrong with you?
If you have not seen Lonesome Dove, I'm surprised you're watching this TV show right
Yeah.
now. So you need to stop what you're doing and go after the show and go watch Lonesome Dove.
Yeah, because you're missing out. There's so many westerns and stuff out there trying to duplicate that. Even there's a lot of references to Costner trying to duplicate that with Horizon. And I think, and I'm getting off topic, but I think Horizon would have done better if all of the Yellowstone crowd fans weren't so upset with Costner leaving the show.
Right.
So had they not been upset with him about leaving Yellowstone when he did, then more people probably would have watched it.
Yeah.
And I went and watched it. I didn't realize it was that long of a movie until it was over. And I was like, oh, man, we were there that long? Huh.
That's pretty good. If you're not looking at your watch during the movie, then it's a good movie.
And so that was pretty good. So anyway, next on the list we've got The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
Never heard of it.
I don't think I've seen this. One. The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
Does it have a year of like when this was out? I don't see. Oh, yeah, 93.
By that cover right there, it looks older than that.
Yeah, I was going to say 93. I'm surprised that we haven't heard of that.
It's a B movie. Most charming B movie actor of his generation, Bruce Campbell. Wisecracking, national treasure. It's set in 1893. It may, I guess on Netflix. I'll have to look this up. Some of these I'm about to see, and this next one here, I have seen this one, and this one is pretty good.
Is it?
Have you seen that?
I have not seen it. I've seen previews. I don't have Netflix. I'm a Prime. I watch Prime and Paramount.
Huh. Well, you're missing out on some TV.
I know. I'm going to have to get some Netflix.
So this is Godless. Godless is pretty good. It came out right there in the Yellowstone era. One of them with Yellowstone was making its way. It was like, hey, we got to do something. Let's get a movie out. And I watched this, and it's hard for me to, because the main woman in the show, I remember from Downton Abbey, because she's in Downton Abbey, and now she's over here shooting all these people in this Western with a American accent. I'm like, what in the world? But yeah, so
goodness.
the 2017 Netflix original limited series Godless. The show set 1884 as New Mexico territory is terrorized by outlaw Frank Griffin and his unruly gang.
So you've seen it. Should have made the top 15?
Not of all time. Maybe top 15 of the last couple of years.
Okay.
Or something, but I wouldn't have put it.
Say all time.
All
That's
time.
a big category.
Next up on the list is a fun film that I got to do some work on, and it is Bass Reeves, Lawman Bass Reeves, another one of the from the Sheridan Empire.
I did watch this one. This one was actually very good. I thought it was well done, and yeah, they hook you in right off the beginning of that one.
Well, the story goes, I don't know if they mentioned it on there, but supposedly I've heard that Bass Reeves is supposed to be the Lone Ranger.
Really?
That's where the Lone Ranger character is based off of him.
I have heard that.
But when at the time, they don't think it would have worked. In the time we were in, when Lone Ranger came out, it would have worked like that. So that's why they went the way they went. But that's why you've got him and his sidekick.
Yep.
In that show. But Lawman Basher, that is a good one.
That is a very good one.
That's a good one. We've got some more to get to, but we'll do that in a minute, because what we're going to do now is listen to this tune right here, and then we're going to come back and talk to Shea Fisher.
The sun was setting, it was burning red. You had your back against that old oak tree. I was leaning up against your chest, watching the horses running free. And I said, they're so beautiful and wild. You said, girl, they're just like you. Someday you'll be running too. Sure enough, you knew me all too well. It wasn't long till my dreams set in. I took off thinking I could find myself somewhere out here on the wind. The view is pretty and the city lights, you know I really can't complain. Still, it's just not the same. So take me back to Texas, where the skies are ever blue, where I left my foolish heart hanging on the moon. Take me back to Texas with you. So many times I went to call you up, then I thought it's been too long. I think about you down in Abilene, but it's a safe bet you've moved on. Sometimes I wish you'd ride in on the way like Jesse James.
I'm Ty Down over Tyson Durkee, and you are watching the Pepper Stewart Show.
That's what you're watching. He told you that. And speaking of Tyson Duffy, we've got somebody here with us that may know him, and that's Shea Fisher.
I may know him. I may know him just a little bit.
You've watched enough rodeos. You saw him somewhere.
Yeah, that pink shirt kind of gives it away, I think.
So what is going on? What have you been up to?
Man, I tell you what, we have just been so busy. Obviously, for those that may know, that Tyson is officially unretired after taking 2 years in the real world, decided that, you know what, I still want to be a cowboy and I still want to make the NFR. So he is back full-time rodeo. So between his rodeo schedule and then me deciding to get back into the music industry, we are just going all different directions. But you know what? You live one time and life's great.
Yep. You got to do it while you can. So let's do this. This new song you got out, Take Me Back to Texas. So what's the story behind that?
So I'll try and give you just a real quick rundown for those that don't know. So I grew up in Australia. That's hence why I have a very strange, confused accent. But my parents are both, my dad's an Australian champion bull rider and bareback rider. My mum's a bar racing champion. Grew up in Australia. When I was 10 years old, my family moved to the US, and my dad was actually on the PBR tour here in the US. So that's kind of where I first got introduced to music, is living in the US, traveling lots of miles between the PBRs because, 3 kids, it wasn't super cheap to fly, so we drove. But honestly, that's why I'm where I'm at now. We went home to Australia when my dad retired off the PBR. He was 40. And then I decided that I was going to give Talent Quest a go, and I did not do very well. It was an epic failure. So then I was like, you know what? If they don't like me in the Talent Quest, I'm going to start singing the national anthem at rodeos. So that's where I got my start. I would sing the national anthem at rodeos I'd be competing in, and eventually met a well-known act in Australia who was performing at the rodeo. And I just, like any country girl, went up and was like, hey, can I be your support act? And obviously he was nice enough to say yes. And one thing led to another. He ended up becoming my manager. We co-wrote my first album together. And I got a record deal when I was 16 in Australia. So picture this like rodeo girl that has no clue anything about the music industry, and I just get thrown into it, just all in. And I would wear my cowgirl hat, my boots on stage, and I was blessed. I had no clue why or how, but I was blessed enough to have several #1 songs off that first album. And then I had a record label in the States when I was 20 call me and be like, hey, do you want to move to America and pursue a career here? So, of course you're going to say yes, but little did I know that meant trading my cowgirl hat and my boots for high heels and the city life. And, it was great for a while, but I just didn't feel like I was at home. I mean, I grew up as a cowgirl. I'd go to Kix Brooks's ranch and ride some horses there in Nashville, but it just wasn't fulfilling. And I really felt like Texas just made me feel like I was from Australia again. And growing up doing the PBRs, my family based in Texas for those couple of years. So I really just felt really comfortable there. And long story short, my record label, I was touring and my song was doing great at radio. And 3 weeks into my song being out, my record label shuts down.
Oh.
And I'm in America. Just gave my whole life up, moved to America for this record deal. And then my label shuts down. So I was just stuck. I didn't know what to do. So I just packed up my car and I drove 14 hours to Lubbock, Texas, and hung out there with Dina Kirkpatrick. And then I went and spent some time with Shatter and Trevor in Decatur and just figured out, like, what am I going to do now? And I was always back and forth to Nashville, but I just had this calling to come back home to Texas, and met Tyson in Texas. And then, I just was like, you know what? I think I'm going to have to trade in these high heels and put my boots back on again. So when I was getting back, long story short, when I was getting back into the industry and I was figuring out what song would be the best one to come back into, this song just felt like it really talked about my journey, and kind of was a bit more of a mature song compared to what I had released in the past. Obviously, when you're 16 releasing songs, your record label want you to all about this love and all this life experience you've had at 16 years old. I literally don't even think I had a real boyfriend, but obviously my songs made it seem like I did. But it's nice now to be able to actually sing what I want to sing and wear what I want to wear and do it my way. So yeah, I guess that was a long story that I didn't really make any shorter. So sorry.
Oh, that's good. That's great. So are you still riding now? Or are you doing any barrel racing anymore, or just singing?
Yeah. No, I am actually. I literally went to a jackpot today. It's funny how life works, because obviously growing up, my goal was to be the first Australian cowgirl to make the NFR in the barrel racing. And then, music stepped in, and that was my passion. And then when I started dating Tyson and we got married, I had a really nice horse that did well. I was second or third in the rookie race one year, but obviously, like, had to put my big girl pants on. I sold that horse to start our Shea Baby clothing company. You know, needed money to do that, so had to make that choice. But I bought a really nice horse early last year and was doing really well. We were winning, doing great, and he actually fractured his hock in May of last year at a rodeo, so he had to have some time off. So literally the last 3 weeks I've been able to start entering again. So just taking him, deciding, hey, is it one of those things that I want to put him on the trailer this summer and try and juggle music and entering with Tyson, or, you know, is it just going to be one more factor in being just juggling everything we're juggling? And with Tyson, you know, I've got the rest of my life to make the finals in the bow racing. Obviously, his time's a little more limited than mine. But yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be a cowgirl. I mean, interesting fact, I was actually the first girl in Australia to make the national finals in the junior bull riding, which is just, I look back and I'm like,
junior bull riding?
Yes, I'll have to send you a photo. I'm like, what was I thinking?
Awesome.
But there is a story, because like my dad obviously rode bulls, and my brother, he wasn't into it. And in Australia, the boys were able to do the breakaway roping, and they were also able to enter the junior bow racing, which, I mean, I didn't think that was a boy sport when I was younger. And I said to Dad, I was like, well, this is so unfair because they always beat me for the all round. And I was very competitive. And I just looked at Dad one day, to remember, and I was like, can girls ride bulls? And I didn't know what I was doing. And my dad's like, yeah, I think. So we looked up the rule book, and lo and behold, girls could do it. So I knew if I was going to do it, I needed to be good, because otherwise everyone would have laughed at me. So I spent about 3 months on my dad's bucking machine at home, because he used to run clinics, and I got really dang good. And I came out at that first rodeo I entered, and those boys were like, I could tell they were thinking, what is she doing? And I got second at the first one. And about 3 or 4 weeks into entering, the boys would be pulling my bull rope or getting me to pull their bull rope. They loosened up a bit. But yeah, I made the national finals in Australia, and then just decided, you know what? My record label didn't want me having no black eyes or broken bones. So was my short-lived bull riding career. But, you know, I bet if the PBR paid me enough and it was a safe enough bull, I'd do it again.
Could get on one. Yeah.
All right.
Right. Get on another.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I did a question, though. You're talking about juggling back and forth. So being former rodeo contestant myself, I know how much up and down the road you're going. So with you doing it, with Ty doing it, you've got children's clothing, you're designing buckles, you're throwing out songs, and you're a mom. I don't see how you're getting it all done.
I have never had to run on much sleep, so that's a plus. I need about 5 hours sleep. But for me, it's really important. My parents were pretty present when I was growing up, even though they juggled a lot. So I definitely don't want to be somebody that's not present, because obviously those years go quick. So when the kids are home, you know, I'm present, I'm with them. But when they're in bed, I work hard, and I make my hours count. But we do a lot with them. I mean, if I'm singing, I'll bring them to an event. They're good kids. They know to sit in the corner if we're doing a TV interview and just sit there. And obviously they're used to the miles, because they grew up on the road when Tyson was rodeoing, so that doesn't bother them. But for us, I feel like we're actually setting a good example of working hard. Obviously, we all have our downfalls, but I drink my coffee and I stay fit and healthy, and then I just work a lot. But you know, here's the thing: sitting in the truck, driving to rodeos or to an event, as long as you've got someone like there helping drive, I get so much work done. Honestly, I get more work done when I'm out with Tyson rodeoing than I do even sitting in my office. But I do have a good team of people around me now. It's taken a lot of years to be able to build the companies. I mean, Shea Baby's in 2,000 stores now. I mean, that company's just, God's so good. That company's just blown up. But I've had to I've really had to build a good team, because there's no way I could get back into music and try and do all of that. But I think it takes me and Tyson being on the same page with it, because if one of us weren't on the same page, that would make it hard. But we obviously know we both have to make sacrifices for this to work. But we also love that each other are out chasing our dreams.
All right. So what about you've got the youngsters? Any of the youngsters try to do any music with you, or want to ride the sheep, or?
Yeah. our daughter is just, she's an amazing child, and she is going to be a performer. And I say it like that because I'm like, I know I'm going to be a manager mama. I'm going to have to like open a can of worms on a few of those industry people that may take advantage of her. Because I've been in that industry for a long time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what to tell her. Yes, we have one or two that are destined for that. And our son is determined he's going to be a calf roper and a bull rider. So you know what? I mean, I was okay with like an NBL player or, Major League Baseball or something. But you know what? If he loves the rodeo, he's going to have some good teachers between my dad and Tyson. But yeah, we don't push any of it on our kids. We let them try a lot of things. Obviously, you love them to follow in your footsteps, but my parents weren't singers and I chose singing, and I'm thankful for it. So I think it's about just finding what their passions are, truthfully.
Okay. All right. You got, you about to hit the road. You got your website, which is SheaFisher.com, and all your stuff is there. Your schedule, your closing links, your buckles, everything. One-stop shop.
Yes. Getting back in the music industry, though, it's funny because times have changed so much. Like, I was 16 when I was first releasing music. Like, you would go to a store and it was albums. You'd literally go to these CD shops and have to promote your music. Now it's just so easy for independent artists because everything can be streamed online. It's a changing time, but it's made it easier in a sense. But with getting back into it, these festivals book so far out. So like, I'm already having to think 2026, what does that look like for performing in shows? So, for me this year, obviously, it's to focus on getting the songs out there. I actually have 3 music videos coming out this year, not just 1 and 3 singles, because I knew my personality, if I was going to do it, I had to be all in. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? If the director's coming to shoot 1 video in Texas, let's shoot 3. So I got a lot more music on the horizon this year, and obviously it sounds like I'll be flying the kids around the countryside to, watch their dad compete as well. And, we just got a lot of irons in the fire, but yeah.
Busy's
never
good.
A dull moment in the Durfee Fisher household.
Yeah, busy's always good though. It's always good to be busy, be focused on something and driven. So speaking of being busy, I guess we'll let you get back to it.
You're good. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just I'm excited. It's going to be good. I think that one thing I always like to tell people is that if you have a dream or passion, don't matter how young, how old you are. I think the biggest thing is a lot of people let the fear of failure stop them from trying. And if you can't fail, you're not going to succeed, because we have failed so many times, me and Tyson, at life and things in general. It's just about how you pick yourself up from those failures. So that's my one thing I want people to take away is that, look, my husband's 42 and he's unretired rodeoing, and I'm a couple decades older than I was when I first started coming out in the music industry, and I'm back at it. So you know what? There's no time like the present.
That's it. You gotta get after it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys, and thank you, everybody. Yeah, you can, my website, and then obviously we're all over social media these days. So, yeah, love you to say hi.
All right. We appreciate your time. We'll see you down the road.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
That right there is Shea Fisher. Check it out. Check out the new songs, the old songs, all the songs.
I don't know how she does it. I know rodeoing is full time, and to do that,
you got
with
that
everything else, that's pretty good.
She's rodeoing, he's rodeoing.
But I guess they got family history. They've got it probably down to an art. They probably make it a lot easier than some of the other people.
Well, like with her growing up doing it, she grew up into it, so she knows the drill.
She knows how to juggle.
And speaking of the drill, we didn't get to all our stuff. We got enough time to finish this list, or we?
Please, it'll irritate me if we don't. I need to know what the last of the westerns are.
All right, well, here we go. We're on to the next one. This show right here been on for a long time, still on TV every day, just about, with Ben Cartwright on Bonanza.
I could see this one being on there. All-time TV shows, and we're not talking movies. We're talking TV shows. I can definitely see this one being on there. That one makes the cut.
And it was more of a, what do you want to say, a family wholesome type show, like
right.
You didn't have all the.
It wasn't blood and guts and all the other good stuff that goes along in westerns nowadays.
Yeah. And then I don't know how this one made it to where it did, because there's still a few more to go. So Yellowstone is in here, which is another one that I got to work on. And so Yellowstone pops in here, and he says, what does he say? The show largely behind the current resurgence of the interest in westerns. Well, yeah, it's a neo-western set in Montana, centered around the Dutton family. Yep, everybody knows that show. I shouldn't have to even say that.
That's definitely on there just because you can't have that big a following and not say it's one of the best.
Well, that's the show that probably the reason why he made this list.
Yeah,
if I was guessing. But this, what is that one?
Never heard of it in my life.
What is that about? Spaghetti. It's a spaghetti western in Europe.
I don't see a year when it was made. It says the overall genre in the 60s.
That dirty black bag. Dark and vicious. That dirty black bag brings the same strange but effective tone to the genre that Italian filmmakers decades ago. So I guess it's one of the old Italian spaghetti westerns.
So with westerns making a comeback, are spaghetti westerns going to make a comeback?
I don't know. I've heard talks of it. I've heard it mentioned before.
I wonder if there'd be an interest.
They might. If as much as they're blowing up right now, it's got to. So we jumped over again to another Sheridan show, 1923. Another Yellowstone.
Yep. So, and we both got, well, no, I didn't work on that one. 1883. I'm surprised that one didn't make it. But yeah, it's if you've got 3 on the list of 15, you're doing something right.
Yeah. Yep. So 1923, it just wrapped up. You know, I did see a lot of people complaining about some of the scenes that were in the 1923.
Yeah.
And I get it that they were trying to show, he's trying to show kind of what was happening in that time.
Mm-hmm.
But you could have toned it down a little bit.
And I think some people, they get an idea of how they want something to end because they, they're watching it. I mean, think about it. It's you've got 2 years invested in watching this thing. And you get an idea, okay, this is how it should end. And then when it don't actually go your way, then, of course, they're upset. So, but, yeah, it was pretty hardcore.
Good stuff. What else we got? We got another one that's been on TV forever. This is another one of those wholesome family-esque type of westerns that you sit around TV long enough, you're going to get some gunpowder in your eye. And that's Gunsmoke.
That definitely should be on there. And, a lot of big actors got their start on that. I remember watching one with Kurt Russell as a kid.
On Gunsmoke.
And on Gunsmoke. And what another thing is cool is we look at these things nowadays where they have series and they'll show 8 episodes and it's a year before they make another one. They ran this thing for 20 seasons and they never took a break.
Yep. And it says, I just noticed this, it says that it was decades before it got dethroned by The Simpsons. So they were the longest running
with no
scripted
breaks.
series.
With no breaks. Yep.
Until the dang Simpsons come along.
Pretty impressive.
Did Matt ever find the kitty? I don't know if that ever. I don't know if did they ever run off? I don't remember.
I can't remember how it ended.
I don't remember. I don't know. All right, we got this one here. I've tried to watch this one. I've seen a few, but it doesn't.
I couldn't get into
it. It doesn't catch me, I guess.
Don't draw me in.
But it says when it comes to the neo-westerns, the definite show for decades on FX, Justified. But it was more of a, I guess it's a western, but it was modern times western. But I don't know. I couldn't.
It didn't appeal to me.
I could not get into it. I tried. Now, this one, the last one on the list, this was a good one. If you've never seen this, if you've never watched all this is a really good season or series. A really good series. They even made a movie afterwards. Years later, they had another movie. And this one was really good with Al Swearingen. And that's Deadwood.
I agree. That was definitely a good one.
Deadwood was a good one, and Deadwood was before Yellowstone.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
well, it was out. I mean, it was out before that, so
right.
A lot of people made
And it had a
comparisons.
huge following
Yeah.
too. I mean, there's a lot of people in that one too. So it is definitely highly successful. But I'm not sure where Samuel Stone gets his qualifications as far as westerns. But
I'm gonna see if I can get him on. I need to get him on and ask him about that because I'm curious.
that'd be good.
Just to see. He's probably gonna watch the
Give him a
fight.
chance. Give him a chance to defend himself.
Yeah, have a rebuttal.
Yeah.
Give him a little rebuttal. I guess we need a rebuttal on down the road. We kind of drug out for a while today, so I don't know. We got Matt here. Matt came in. Thanks to Matt.
Hey, thanks for having me.
T-Post Malone for coming in and sitting with us. And Matt, other than that, well, before we do, so you want to throw out there your training grounds you got going on for the bull riders?
Okay, so we do. If you look us up on Facebook, we're Training Day Ministries, and we do practice bull riding every Tuesday at White Wright, Texas, at Kings Trail Cowboy Church. And the cool thing about us is there's a lot of practice pens around, and we're on our third year now, and it is nothing for us to have 30 to 50 bull riders every Tuesday. And it's because we just have such great stock contractors that we really cater to teaching bull riding, and we're not trying to promote ABBI futurity bulls. So, I mean, they actually, if we all focus on the bulls and not the bull riders, the sport's going to go away. So we're actually grooming cowboys and working them through the levels to get them ready for those PBR caliber bulls. But we're giving them a place where they can actually start with the fundamentals, and that's why we're successful. 3 years doing it and that many bull riders. I mean, no other practice pen can say that right now.
Look them up on the internet, on the Facebook. I'm sure it's on the Book of Faces. Check it out. And with that, we are going to go sit in traffic.